The good news keeps rolling in for the Philadelphia Eagles. You're watching Philadelphia Eagles Now by Chat Sports. I'm Chase Sr. And how about this football team? One of the hottest squads in the entire National Football League. 5 straight wins. First place in the NFC East because of the Commanders losing yesterday to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Number 2 seed in the NFC, right behind the Detroit Lions, who pulled off a crazy comeback on Sunday Night Football against the Houston Texans. This Eagles offense is humming. And this Eagles defense, during this 5-game tear, has been the number 1 defense in the league. Let's go, Birds. If you're enjoying another Victory Monday, I want you to hit that thumbs up icon, like the video. And with that, let's start the official show on this Victory Monday. Let's get it rolling. Today's Philadelphia Eagles Now is made possible thanks to our friends at Rhone. Seasons change. We change. It's time that men's closets changed as well. Rhone's Commuter Collection is the most comfortable, breathable, and truly versatile set of products known to man. I'm wearing their commuter polo right now, and Rhone has premium pieces to elevate every occasion. We're talking about the world's most comfortable pants, dress shirts, quarter zips, polos, and blazers, all boosted with functional performance properties. Rhone's signature technical fabrics stretch in every direction. They breathe, they fight odor, and the elements effortlessly work everywhere so that you can stay calm and collected, look good, feel good, even when life takes unexpected turns. It's time for unparalleled confidence with all that hustle that you're putting in. And each piece in Rhone's Commuter Collection is made to coordinate and layer for an instantly elevated look. So right now for the Bird Gang, if you use the code ChatSports at Rhone.com/ChatSports, you get 20% off your order. Again, you use that code ChatSports, you get 20% off your order. They have everything so that you can enhance your wardrobe with the seasons changing and as we pivot to fall and winter. You want to wear something with the suit. You want to wear something casual. Rhone has got you. So we'll put that link down below in the show notes and attached to the pinned comment of today's Philadelphia Eagles. Now, we really appreciate them for making today's show possible. RHONE.com/ChatSports. Use the code ChatSports. It's time to embody your most confident self. Let's start off with this. Ladies and gentlemen, the Philadelphia Eagles are Super Bowl contenders. Why is that? Well, they can win in a variety of ways on offense. You want to muddy it up? They're going to run it, play bully ball, get physical, and dominate with one of the best offensive lines in football. If the Eagles need to air it out, Jalen Hurts right now is playing and throwing the football like an MVP. And in the past game, you have A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, one of the top wide receiver duos in the National Football League. And Dallas Goedert returns yesterday, catches a touchdown pass. He's one of the top all-around tight ends in the game. And you can use Saquon Barkley as a receiver out of the backfield. If Philadelphia is struggling offensively and they need to rely on that defense, this is the number 1 overall defense in the NFL over the last 5 weeks. They're giving up around 10 points per game during that time frame, around 200 yards per contest, and in the last 3 games, they have forced 10 turnovers. My message to everybody out there, don't be a casual in life, and don't be a casual when it comes to sports. Don't tell me that the Eagles are dominating just because they have had a light schedule. This is the NFL. A majority of games are decided by a score or less. The Kansas City Chiefs nearly lost to the Denver Broncos yesterday. They had to block a potential game-winning field goal at the end of that game just to be victorious. We see this every week. We saw it earlier this year. We saw it last year with Philadelphia when they could barely scrape by to beat inferior opponents. And now people are complaining that they're dump trucking some of these other teams who are middle of the road to bad teams in the NFL. You have to take care of business, take care of opponents that are in front of you, and Philadelphia's been able to do that during this 5-game winning streak. What I liked offensively yesterday, Jalen Hurts able to overcome the 2 bad turnovers. He threw a red zone interception. It looked like Dallas Goedert was wide open down that seam. Great play by Trayvon Diggs. He exploded toward the football, kind of baited Hurts a little bit, and the closing speed there to catch that and to reel it in, maintain possession throughout that pick. Awesome play. So I'll credit great defense on that play as compared to Hurts making a bad decision. Sometimes you have to give kudos to the defense, and Trayvon Diggs made a phenomenal play on the football. Now, the strip sack against Micah Parsons, bad mechanics there. Jalen Hurts has to have more ball security. Hold it high and tight. He held it low and a little bit loose. Fumbled it, and then the Cowboys were able to recover, and Saquon Barkley nearly got injured on that play. But Jalen Hurts was phenomenal in this game. He was efficient. He was decisive. He was accurate once again, using the entire field, sideline to sideline, excelling with the deep ball. And he just looks like a much more confident quarterback during this 5-game winning streak. And he's excelling despite some offensive line issues. But you get back Jordan Mailata, that's Jalen Hurts' backside. Fred Johnson has filled in valiantly as a backup tackle, but he's not Jordan Mailata. And Jordan Mailata can really help to shore up some of those protection issues that we've seen. Philadelphia, it's kind of been middle in the road in the red zone this year. Yesterday, they capitalized in that red area. And this is a well-rounded, balanced offense. I think that's the best way to win in the NFL because it's a multi-dimensional, complementary approach, and defenses have to prepare against the run, which can set up the pass, and then the pass can aid the run. And right now, you're seeing an Eagles team with not a lot of weaknesses on the offensive side of the football. And we've seen with the way that they're built, with the identity of this team, with being so stout in the trenches, they are dominating games in the second half, wearing down the opposition and really taking their souls in that second half. And that's why they've been able to explode after halftime. What I didn't like offensively, Hurts needs to get rid of the ball a little bit quicker when the pocket starts to collapse. And he is holding onto the ball too long and taking bad sacks. He's a little bit unsure of himself sometimes when there is pressure coming his way, and sometimes still he is quick to take off instead of throwing it when he clearly has a man open downfield. He can work on those deficiencies. He's been better against the blitz this year for sure. That's on him. That's on better offensive planning and a better offensive scheme to have answers against the blitz, hot routes, safety valves, but Hurts does have to get better in that category. And the Eagles offense against Dallas, they were explosive, they were efficient, they were having success through the air, on the ground, taking advantage of short fields, capitalizing off of 5 Dallas Cowboys turnovers, 5.5 yards per play. And through the air, Hurts and Kenny Pickett, 15-22. As a team, they run it for 187 yards. They continue to be the number 1 rushing offense in the NFL, 4.9 yards per pop. They did turn it over twice, but they forced 5 turnovers. When you win the turnover battle, you win about 80% of the games. In the NFL, in time of possession, 34, but they have dominated that for the most part this year. Let's flip it over to the defensive side of the football. What I liked defensively yesterday, overall, utter domination. Cowboys didn't have a chance all throughout this game. And Chip, we can show those offensive numbers for Dallas here. 146 yards of total offense. 2.6 yards per play. 49 net yards of passing. I don't care if you're going up against Dak Prescott, Cooper Rush, Trey Lance, or me. This is the NFL. And when you're giving up 2.5 yards per play and less than 50 yards passing in a 60-minute ball game, that's punching the Cowboys squarely in the chin. And the Cowboys might have the worst running back room in the NFL, Rico Dowdle, and the ghost that is Ezekiel Elliott, who's a corpse at this point. They average 4 yards per carry, but that ground game is silent, and they fumble the football 4 times. Trey Lance throws a pick, their time of possession, 25-59. So just a complete, utter dominating effort by this Eagles defense. Quinyon Mtichell, Cooper DeJean, they continue to be studs. Quinyon Mitchell's footwork, making plays on the ball, driving wide receivers toward the boundary so that there isn't a window for the quarterback to complete the passes. He has been one of the top corners in the game, not just rookie corners, one of the top overall corners in the National Football League. Cooper DeJean, so good out of the slot. Philadelphia held CeeDee Lamb in check. And Quinyon Mtichell, Cooper DeJean, and Isaiah Rodgers, Darius Slay, big reasons for that. Zack Baun, Nakobe Dean. We have a linebacker duo in Philadelphia, and it's a beautiful sight. This is a city that loves defense. This is an organization with a proud defensive history. Zack Baun, Nakobe Dean have gotten so much better, and they've progressed. They've developed seemingly every single game this year. And they have formed to be one of the top linebacking duos in the NFL. Forcing 10 turnovers in 3 games is really incredible work, and the Eagles have been sound at all 3 levels. Pass rush, stopping the run, linebacking core, secondary. I love the development that we continue to see from these young players. How about Jalen Hunt getting on the field yesterday and being able to produce? And with that, it brings up this thought, Howie Roseman has put together a really good team. This is a deep unit with so many different players stepping up every single game, every single week, and they're certainly one of the most talented teams in football, which goes back to my original point of me thinking that Philadelphia is a bona fide Super Bowl contender. Look at how they stack up on both sides of the football here. 7th in points per game, 6th in yards per game. They've improved in those categories dramatically from last year and throughout this year. 10th in yards per play. Have to get a little bit better on 3rd down. But thanks to a good red zone showing yesterday, they're up to 10th for red zone touchdown percentage. And then defensively, Vic Fangio is coaching his ass off. And I know that he can be a little bit hard on players. He's old school. That works in a city like Philadelphia. It doesn't work in a kick your feet up, let me get some sunshine, always warm and comfortable climate in Miami, Florida. That's why Dolphins players wanted him out. We embrace that type of defensive mind, that type of attitude, bring your lunch pail to work type of guy in the city of brotherly love, because he's gritty, we're gritty, and he's representing Scranton, Dunmore, northeastern Pennsylvania to the fullest degree. 5th in points per game. 2nd in yards per game, 2nd in yards per play, 13th on 3rd downs, and they have now improved to the 3rd best red zone defense in the National Football League. When you play complementary football and you are sound in all 3 phases, offense, defense, special teams, you're going to be difficult to beat. And that's why Philadelphia is arguably the hottest team in football, and they've won 5 games in a row. Now let's talk about the Eagles quarterback here. Jalen Hurts is proving the haters wrong this year. He's overcome a slow start, and over this 5-game winning streak, he has played at an MVP level. Let me say that again. Jalen Hurts is proving haters wrong. He has overcome a slow start, and he is playing MVP-level football during this 5-game winning streak. And going into the season, there were so many people in my mentions saying, Hurts stinks. He's overrated. He's a fraud. Well, he was the MVP runner-up in 2022. And here's how he fared in the first 9 games in 2022 compared to what he's doing here in the first 9 games of 2024. Completion percentage, higher this year than in 2022. Yards, passing, down, but he has Saquon Barkley this year. Total touchdowns to picks, 21-3 in 2022, 22-5 this year. And his quarterback rating, right on par. How about what he's done in the last 5 games? He's been one of the top quarterbacks in the NFL. His completion percentage is nearly 72%. He's thrown for more than 1,000 yards, 8 passing touchdowns to 1 pick, 8 rushing touchdowns. That's 16 combined tutties in 5 games, and his quarterback rating, 126.1. Hurts has been balling, he's been cooking, and hopefully this continues. Also with Zack Baun, let's circle back to him. It's becoming a weekly occurrence that he is making game-changing plays. He has been the highest-graded linebacker in the NFL in 3 consecutive weeks. And outside of Fred Warner, statistically, eye test, you turn on the tape, impact, making game-changing plays, he's been one of the best off-ball linebackers in the NFL behind Fred Warner, and the Eagles got him on an absolute bargain. And against the Cowboys, he's once again all over the place, having a great feel for the game, really good instincts, 8 tackles, 1 TFL, 2 forced fumbles, and a fumble recovery. Howie Roseman has to lock up Zack Baun on a long-term contract extension today, because you better get that deal done as soon as you can, because if he keeps playing like this, he might be too expensive for Philadelphia to retain. After the game, he credited Vic Fangio with identifying him as a player who could play off-ball linebacker, putting him in a position to succeed, but Howie Roseman deserves credit for that as well. And how about how this secondary performed against C.D. Lamb? 6 catches, 21 yards, 3.5 yards per catch. Cooper DeJean matched up against him, sticky coverage. Quinyon Mtichell matched up against Lamb, good coverage. Isaiah Rodgers, Darius Slay, they were playing lockdown football at the cornerback position. And you might say, it's Cooper Rush, Chase. It's Trey Lance. Cooper Rush and C.D. Lamb have put up some really big numbers as a quarterback-wide receiver tandem. Yesterday, he did nothing. That's coaching, that's scheme, that's players playing really well. And now, as you look ahead to this Thursday night football game, Eagles-Commanders at Lincoln Financial Field, it's going to be a massive game with huge implications. Eagles are 7-2 in this division. The Commanders, 7-3, have yet to have their bye, but after they lost to the Pittsburgh Steelers yesterday, they're in second place. So the Eagles have an opportunity here on Thursday night to grab firm control of this division. You can forget about the Cowboys. They're cooked. And the New York Giants lost in overtime to the god-awful Carolina Panthers. As for the NFC playoff picture, I teased this a little bit earlier. This is where things stand going into Week 11. You thought the Detroit Lions were going to lose against the Houston Texans. They pitch a second-half shutout, and they overcome 5 Jared Goff interceptions in that game. And Jake Bates able to connect on 2 clutch field goals, one just inside the right upright, and then one just inside the left upright to win that game. They are now 8-1. That would be a very difficult place to play on the road in the playoffs because Jared Goff is so much better at home as compared to on the road, especially in a cold climate. Philadelphia, second seed in the NFC right now, 7-2, sitting pretty, playing good football. Yes, last year they started 10-1, but the look and the feel and the makeup of this team is so much better. You have the Falcons at 6-4 by way of them leading the NFC South. The Arizona Cardinals have actually been really good this year. Kyler Murray has been fantastic. He had like 2 or 3 incompletions as they drubbed the New York Jets yesterday. They're 6-4 because the Vikings are behind the Lions in that NFC North. They're the 5th seed at 7-2. Commanders 6th seed at 7-3. You don't want to fall back into that wild card kind of territory if you're Philadelphia because then you have to go on the road as compared to hosting a home playoff game. That's huge. Home field advantage at the link in the playoffs in January is massive. And then the Green Bay Packers, that 7 seed at 6-3. Can you imagine a first-round game in the wild card round going up against Green Bay? It is a closely contested NFC. Other teams in the mix. Niners escape 3 Jake Moody missed field goals yesterday. Then he hits the game winner. They're at 5-4. Rams will play tonight on Monday Night Football, 4-4 for them. Chicago is reeling. Matt Eberflus is a joke. Seattle 4-5. They're coming off their bye week. They'll take on the Niners this week. Another big game there. Buccaneers go into their bye at 4-6. I actually think they're a pretty good team. They have some of the best wins among all teams in the NFL. They've beat Washington. They went on the road, beat the Lions. They drubbed Philadelphia, even though the Eagles were shorthanded. They get back Mike Evans. That'll help them drastically. So if you enjoyed today's show, give me a real one. We'll be back later with some more Eagles content because the content doesn't stop from the Content Daddies.